Hey everyone. It can be really frustrating if you're getting traffic to your website, but you're not seeming to get any conversions. No sales, no phone calls, forms being filled out. And sometimes when that happens, and really in advance, you should be working on what we call CRO, which stands for conversion rate optimization. Recently published a blog post on this, so in this video, I'm going to take you through that, just an overview of the post and some strategies. So as you can see here, just start off talking about what does CRO stand for? What does it mean? Just basically trying to increase the percentage of people that come to your website and ultimately convert. So there's a bunch of strategies, tactics around this. A couple that we point out in this post: shortening your forms. We've worked with customers who you go to their site and they have a lead form, let's say, and it's so long that you're scrolling down the page for like 5 or 6 seconds just to get to the end of the form. And this could just be a little bit intimidating or a turnoff for a prospective customer. So, what we recommend is condensing things, shortening some fields only to what's necessary. And sometimes this can be tough if you're working with HubSpot or some kind of predetermined marketing tool that's going to kind of input some of that information and get in your lead flow. But little things like instead of first and last name, just put name. Do you need both phone number and email? Don't make the message box huge. Little things like that. Just really condense it to as little as possible. Make it less intimidating and more likely for someone to fill out the form. Then another big one: simplifying the main navigation. Probably some debate out there on this because you go to a website like Amazon and you see they got a lot in their main navigation. But usually, I think in my case, and a lot of people are going out there and they're searching, not necessarily using that. So they have so many products and things on there that it kind of is part of their SEO strategy to do that. But for a small business, let's say a tree service company, a plumber, HVAC, you don't need to overwhelm the user. They're looking for a specific service or a specific issue to buy a specific product. So try to simplify your main navigation. Make sure they don't have to sift through it. Make it easy to guide them to find the information they're looking for, and from that convert. That should help just simplify the overall process, make it more likely for a prospective customer to convert. And with that, on a page, for example, if you're guiding a user to a page, you're going to have calls to action or CTAs on there. So you want to make sure that those are strategically placed. The verbiage in there is strategic. You might want to put it in the middle of a section of content and at the bottom. Have it all the time up in your main navigation or up in a banner. Just make sure that you're testing placements of those and what words you're putting on the buttons, for example, and other CTAs. You could use an image behind it. There's a lot that you can do. You could go down a rabbit hole with CTAs, but test it out, see what works best and what drives the leads and sales to your website, and then stick with that. And then on the e-commerce side of things, it gets a little bit different. Amazon effect, free shipping. Even if you're building a higher cost into your products but offer free shipping, it's a hurdle you save a customer and that they're going to like to see. If you put a banner that says free shipping on all products, probably going to be more likely to look at your products and follow through with a purchase. Making the checkout process really effortless, ability to save information so that, um, you know, if a user comes back, a couple of clicks and they're making a purchase. Little things like that can go a long way. And then you should really just kind of in your overall SEO, SEM strategy, you should think about conversion rate optimization. So some of those things, a lot of times we see people that are writing blog after blog or have multiple pages about the same thing. That's going to hurt your chances of not only ranking, coming up in searches, but also converting. You want to think about in your SEO strategy when you're creating content, make sure that your content is helpful. It's addressing everything that a prospective customer might be interested in knowing. And you could find that by doing search result research and many tools you could use there. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're inserting trust mechanisms. So that could be a badge saying, you want an award, or like for WebFeed, we're a Google partner. We put that in our review score with 5 stars up there because we're at 4.9, pretty much 5 stars. Little things like that will build trust. Um, some studies out there say that alone can increase conversion rate, especially if you're e-commerce, put that in the checkout, that could boost conversion rate by what these studies say over 40%. So pretty effective. Encourage scrolling on your website. Lots of strategies to do that. If you have above the fold content, so before you scroll, you could put little arrows in the middle of the page, and they could kind of be animated and pulsating out at the user to just encourage a click and encourage more reading. And these metrics are important for rankings, but that will help with conversion rate as well. And make sure you're targeting the right thing. I also see a lot of people that they have services and they target services in their meta title or the page title. Make sure that you're getting specific with everything that you do, because go ahead and into a Google search and do a broad search of search services. You're going to get like a definition and a bunch of random things. So um, use the example of let's say an HVAC company. How about emergency air conditioning repair services? Something like that is much better to target. Make sure you're doing that in your content with your SEO strategy and just in general. That's going to help you have more specific research that can accommodate prospective customers and make sure that you have a higher likelihood to convert. Then we go into a little bit about Google Ads campaigns and how you can increase your conversion rate there. This could apply to Microsoft, Yelp, whatever page you're linking to from any ad campaign. Make sure that you're really on point with that same thing, targeted content. Make sure that your campaigns are very narrow, and ideally you should have very narrowly focused landing pages associated with that. We like sometimes to trim out the main navigation and basically give a 50-50 chance of, hey, here's some content, here's a form, you're either submitting it or you're Xing out, no other options really. That can increase your conversion rate as well. And then over time, as you gather data, you see that some kind of target, maybe a keyword or an audience, time of day, not performing well, cut it out of there. Make sure all your money is funneling into the most likely to convert sectors there. Give some metrics to look at with that engagement rate. You can go in Google Analytics, look at a lot of things, conversions, cost per conversion, all that stuff. But you can increase quality leads and sales big time if you focus on CRO. Want to make sure you have good SEO strategy with that. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll provide all relevant links in there. Appreciate you watching the video. Thank you.